Dear respected Thai and dear Sangha, thank you for the invitation and having me tonight and the opportunity to practice together as a fourfold Sangha. Today I want to share about our true home. You know, I live in the States since 5-6 years, and every time somebody detects my foreign accent, they would ask, "Hey, where do you come from?" And I'd say, stopping a little bit because I want to give a sincere answer, I'd say, I come from my mother. And yeah, I give you a moment. I come from my mother because, you know, it's complicated. My parents are Croatian. They're both born in Croatia. They came to Germany, where my accent is from, when they were teenagers in the 60s. Me and my sister, we were born in Germany, but I always felt more Croatian than German. But my friends in Germany would prove me wrong and saying, "You're not German. Your mentality is like clearly Mediterranean. You know, you don't behave as a German." When I would go back and visit family in Croatia, they wouldn't grant me that, but saying, "You're not Croatian. Like, look at your tweets. You're clearly like German. You want to be on time. You like yell at us when we're not on time. You're not Mediterranean. No way." So I had that problem. I was torn. Where do I come from? Where's my home? You know, what can I call home? Is it Germany? Is it Croatia? Is it any country? So when I came first in touch with Thai's teaching, he was talking about our true home. And that really resonated with me because that took away this expectation that my home has to be a country or a culture or a certain behavior. And Thai said, the birds' true home, he said, the birds are taking refuge in the skies. The deer is taking refuge in the woods. And as humans, we are taking refuge in the present moment. So our true home lies in the present moment. And I remember that relief, hearing that from Thai, feeling so much falling off me. Like, I don't have to belong anywhere. I just have to belong right here and right now with whatever is right here and right now. If there is sadness and feeling torn because I don't know where I belong to, if there is joy of having found my true home, I can be right here in the present moment. And Thai also taught me how to get there. If I forget, or if people want to tell me where I'm from, or telling me where my home is, because some would say you are born in Germany, you are German. Some would say you have Croatian genes, you are Croatian. And I was the object of this dispute, you know, they were talking about. So it was very helpful from Thai to explain to me, saying the breath is the vehicle of bringing body and mind together, of uniting body and mind, and open the gate of wisdom. The gate of wisdom, the gate of the present moment, and the gate to my true home. And this sentence was and still is so powerful to me. And I have to say it again. The breath remains the vehicle, he says, to unite body and mind and open the gate of wisdom, the present moment of our true home. So to get there, I realized I need friends. But luckily enough, these friends are always with me. One of these friends is called my body. My body is a true home in terms of my body is bound to gravity. It cannot like go far. It always has to stay on ground. And that's another quality. My body is always grounded. It's a home base. It's there. My body is always here now. It's always in the present moment. Whenever I feel I need to ground myself, I can go back to my body. I can come back to my body. It's always there. We know it when we practice deep relaxation and do a body scan. It is always there. The weakness of the body is its feelings, its vulnerability. Sometimes we feel sad and our body produces these certain hormones. Somebody we feel overjoy and our body produces that hormones, and don't want to say it's a victim, but it's very vulnerable to these feelings. Therefore, we need another friend. And the other friend is our mind. Our mind is a great friend. Our mind is like a time machine. Our mind can be literally in the past and the next second, and can be far in the future. It can go back in time, back and forth in no time. And even in the present moment, it can be anywhere. It's not bound to gravity like the body. That it is so much different. It can be in Hawaii now, in Minnesota next moment, and in San Diego the very next moment. And it can imagine things. So not only that I can travel in time, but I can also imagine what I'm doing there, which are not even true. I can just come up with things. And that is so incredible. The weakness, of course, the mind also has a weakness. And the weakness of the mind is literally that it can be all over the place. And it often finds itself all over the place, not knowing how to root or how to anchor itself. And that's why the mind needs the body. And the body needs the mind. The two friends. And I'm somewhere there too. So we are more friends. We are a group of friends. And the body would say, my dear mind, I love you so much. I'm so glad we're friends. Because I'm bound to gravity. I cannot leave this place. I can jump a little, but that's it. I can run, but I'm always here and now. When you come back to me and you bring all these stories, you bring all these experiences, the memories, the imaginations, your fantasies, they nourish and inspire me so much. I adore you. I would love to be like you. And the mind, knowing himself or herself a bit better than that, says, I guess you think so, but I'm so glad that you are here. I love you so much, my dear buddy. Because yes, I can travel everywhere. I can be in a second here and another second there. But I'm also losing myself so quickly. I forget that I have you, my body, and I forget who I am and where I am, and I get lost in time and space. I get confused, and all what I'm longing for is like to know my true home, to know where I belong to. And this is the moment where I can come back to you. You are always there for me. You're always there. You are my home. You are my anchor. And I'm so grateful for that. I love you so much. And I also know that sometimes I'm coming home with my confusion, with feelings of sadness, of overjoy, and that I'm overwhelming you. And I'm so sorry for that. And there is another friend, the breath. And the breath is the anchor of the mind. And the breath is happening in the body. And the breath needs an invitation of both of them. So both of them would speak, oh, dear breath, you are really a true friend. We love you so much. Now we found out our strength and our weaknesses. The mind says that it can, yes, be everywhere, but sometimes that's also a weakness that that the mind doesn't know how to come home. And the body is always home, but would like to be anywhere and is vulnerable. The mind is all over the place. But the breath, you truly are the one that anchors the mind and brings it back and unites the two of us. And guess what? There are more of us. There is also the one who knows that. Me, as the one who doesn't know if he's Croatian or German or where his true home is, feels so at home with these friends, pairing up, teaming up, and becoming the best home I can imagine and I can wish for. Feeling as one, feeling complete, and feeling fulfilled. And even if you are not half Croatian and born in Germany, I think everybody knows that feeling of being torn, being born Christian, but now following a Buddhist teacher, trying to combine the philosophy or the essence of these two traditions, religions. I find myself in my life always torn, and maybe I'm looking for that, to struggle and to challenge myself, to go deep inside myself, to find different qualities, to actually come together, team up, and see that all are one. And the essence of all is that what is right here and right now, which is me. My true home cannot be anything else but the present moment. Anything what I find right here and right now. But I need these friends and the insight. I need mindfulness to have that insight. So the question, of course, is how do we help ourselves? What can we do? What can we do to get there, and how can we practice to get there and to team up? Of course, each friend, as we said, has their strength and their weakness. So what we want to do is we have to see where our strengths and our weaknesses are, realize that, acknowledge that, accept it, embrace it, get to know each other and play together. So for the mind, for sure, we know the mind needs to stop in order to realize its strengths. And we in the Sangha, as Thai's students, we know how to stop our mind. We have bells in our practice centers. Each time we hear a bell, we stop our thinking, we stop our conversation. So that is how we can stop and see what did we do right now when we hear a bell. And I know many of us, we have a mindfulness bell at our computers, on our phones. Some of you have chiming clocks also maybe at home. Thai also advises us when we hear the telephone ringing, not to run to the telephone and pick up right away, because the mind is still rushed and not settled. So to first, when we hear the telephone ringing, to first stop and breathe 3 times in and out, and in and out, and in and out, to calm the mind a little bit down and to be really present for that person which is calling us, to be really there. And of course, we were hearing in the guided meditation about the different seeds we carry in us. We are the home of many seeds in our stored consciousness. So the mind can water them selectively. That's a practice, to water these seeds selectively. And there's a beautiful example in our language, how we can bring our attention to things. In the English language, you say, I'm paying attention to this or that. In German, you say, translated, you're giving away your attention as a gift. You're giving it away. So you're giving something from you, a part of you, you're giving to something or someone. So now if you say, I'm paying attention to this or that, just remember when you pay, let's say, money for something. If you want to buy something somewhere online or in the shop, and you have to pay the money you have earned with your work, we would most likely see what do we get for that money, because we know the energy we have put in it. And now we're giving it to someone. That means that we want to receive something that makes us happy, that nourishes us. So it's not likely, very likely, that we just give it away and we say, whatever comes back, I don't care. But let's say we want to buy some shoes. We would say, okay, I like these shoes and I have to pay so and so much. But maybe there are other shoes that are like as beautiful as they are, but a little bit cheaper. Or maybe the price quality value is not as I wish for, and I expect more quality for that money that I'm paying. So we're very selective and very kind of demanding when it comes to that. When it comes to our mind and our attention of our mind, we're sadly more generous and giving away, paying attention to this and to that, and the next moment here, and one moment here. And there is a butterfly here, and there's an advertisement there, and there's a sound here. And I'm just going from left to right, up and down, being actually pulled by so many sense impressions, giving away my attention. And that doesn't make us much different from kids. You know, like a kid, let's say, playing at the playground, running around, falling down, hitting its knee, bleeding, and maybe there's not even a pain, but it sees its knee bleeding and starts crying. Like there's this wound, I'm bleeding, and it's crying. So all my attention is there at my knee. Then there is a bell ringing and the ice cream truck is coming around the corner. The kid recognizes the bell of the ice cream truck and thinks, the ice cream truck is there, stands up and runs to the ice cream truck and forgets about the bleeding knee and the pain immediately. And we are like that often too. It's not only the kids. When we have suffering and we suffer from something, instead of staying there and being with our pain, we get distracted and we pay attention to things that are there happening. I have a thought, there's a cake in the fridge. I have to get that cake. Oh, what I need now is that piece of music. I cannot stand my suffering. I need to turn on the TV. I need to call a friend. And the inability to be there with whatever is in the present moment, whatever seed is coming up for us to be there and to pay this precious attention of ours to that what is, and not looking for something. And that is the mind, right? The mind admitting, saying, I can be all over the place and I need you, body, to root me. The mind recognizing and wanting to pay attention to what is happening, we need to stop and come back to our body in order to take care of it. Our body has the capacity because it is always here and now and cannot travel in time. So the next thing is the body. What can our body do to help us reunite body and mind and open the gate of wisdom, the present moment and our true home, to make us feel whole and complete? The body too has to stop. And we know that too when we hear the bell of mindfulness, when we hear a phone ringing, is not only the mind stopping, but also the body. Here in Deer Park, as in every other practice center, if we sit in the dining hall and we are eating and our clock at the wall is chiming everybody would stop even chewing, or if you're just about to swallow, right, you would finish that gently. So we don't want to freeze, but we want to come to a stop. So we put down our fork or chopsticks and we swallow what we have to do. We stop conversations, we stop chewing, we stop also our actions. So we stop thinking and the body stops its bodily actions. If we are walking and we hear a bell, we would stop walking. If we are talking, we would stop talking. If we are thinking, we would stop thinking. So mind and body need to stop, to come together, to remember each other and to see each other. The body can also help a lot the mind by being relaxed. By being relaxed and being open. Because as the mind shared with us, it often brings impressions and unfinished, or how would you say, unprocessed experiences back home to the body, like things that are still rattling or with him. So the body needs the capacity to embrace all these thoughts, images, also feelings that arise when the body comes back, when the mind comes back to the body and they unite. So there is this time of transition when the mind comes back to the body and we breathe in and out with awareness, that we say, ooh, what is happening here? And then it is important that we stay in the present moment and we don't run after the ice cream truck, but we stay right here, our mind paying the attention to what is happening in this very moment, and our body not tensing up, not trying to reject, ignore, freeze, fight, flight, but to open up and maybe to send out hormones of compassion. Be open, and the capability of embracing the mind and welcoming the mind back home. This is what the body can do. Now the breath as the third friend. The breath, don't stop the breath. So stop the mind, stop the body, don't stop the breath. But the opposite, while we stop thinking and we stop moving or acting, we want to pay attention to the inside. What is happening inside? We want to witness this transition of body and mind coming together by following our breathing. And that means by simply watching the breath flowing in and out of our body naturally, automatically, and realizing that this is the most beautiful thing that can happen, a miracle, that I don't have to do a single thing for my breath to flow in and out of my body and giving me life, nourishing my brain that creates the mind. And all it needs to do is to make sure it's effortless, natural, gentle, that it is there. The breath actually is a mediator, a negotiator between body and mind. It's making sure they're both there, and it can be an ambassador for peace, ambassador of our true home, an ambassador of the land of the present moment, as Tai often says. And to enter the land of the present moment, we don't need a passport. We don't need a visa. We just need awareness, mindfulness, and maybe our three friends, and our own awareness, ourselves as the observer of this miracle. Then we can be there. So for me, this is so powerful and so easy, but in the same time, we know it is not. But Tai has helped me tremendously to know where my true home is, to not feel torn between countries, cultures, mentalities, way of thinking or behavior, but to bring me back to my true home, where I feel complete, where I feel home, where I feel fulfilled, and where I know that there's nothing I need to change, and my mind and my body and my breath are together there in harmony, in peace. And it is very easy for me to recognize all these seeds living in that home, and to know how to water selectively the seeds that I'm in need of right now. If I'm sad, I wanna water these seeds of compassion and awareness for my sadness. So my sadness is not overwhelming me, but is still seen and heard. And I want to add a little seed of joy and memories of when I was joyful and things that make me happy, and create good mixtures, you know, because I have the power to water the seeds in my store consciousness. So I become the master of my happiness. And as Tai says, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Because as practitioners, when we know how to suffer, we suffer well, and we can choose how we suffer. And a lot of it depends on how much attention we pay to what or whom, and how we water the seeds of our consciousness, of our store consciousness. So what I want to remind us today all, and inspire us all to practice, is to bring our friends together, our body and our mind, our breathing, come together and play and be aware of our weaknesses, of our strengths. And remember, if we team up and pay attention to what is important and essential when we're together, that we can be relaxed, at ease, and that guarantees us a completeness that we are actually longing and looking for outside of us. But if we take the time to stop, we are able to see that treasure and that miracle inside of us. And that's all we need, is the breath as a vehicle to unite body and mind and open the gate of wisdom, the gate of the present moment of our true home. So please make your breath an ambassador of the land of the present moment, and you won't need a visa or a passport to enter that land and to stay in it. Thank you so much for listening.